Welcome back to Views with Hughes, your agenda-free news. This is Jerome Hughes. Now let's go ahead and get right into it. So we're witnessing today the ongoing meltdown of Disney Star Wars fans as this is happening. Over the past few weeks, where we've watched Disney Star Wars fans lose their minds over the cancellation of the Acolyte under Kathleen Kennedy. These Disney Star Wars fans simply cannot come to terms with the fact that this is, one of the biggest failures in Disney Star Wars history. It's the least watched Disney this least watched series on Disney Plus, and it received horrific views, and it was a disaster by any measure. But despite all of that, Disney Star Wars fans are refusing to accept reality over the Acolyte by Leslie Headland under Kathleen Kennedy. Instead, they're lashing out at anyone and everyone who dares to point out the obvious, that the Acolyte under Kathleen Kennedy was a complete and total failure. Now, that's really interesting about these Disney Star Wars fans, that their sheer determination to cling to a sinking ship. And when it comes to clear that the Acolyte under Kathleen Kennedy was not coming back for a second season, these Disney Star Wars fans thought they could somehow reverse the decision with a petition. Yes, you heard that right, a petition. These Disney Star Wars fans believe that they got enough signatures and Disney would, magically renew the show. But of course, that didn't happen. The petition for the Acolyte under Kathleen Kennedy didn't get nearly the traction they hoped for, and it quickly fizzled out. But did that stop these Disney Star Wars fans? Of course not. Now, when the petition failed, they simply shifted their focus to a new target. So instead of accepting that the Acolyte under Kathleen Kennedy was a failure and it was done, Disney Star Wars fans decided to go ahead and blame YouTubers like, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, Gabe from Neurotic, and Arcade Outpost. But according to these Disney Star Wars fans, YouTubers are the ones who are responsible for the failure of the Acolyte under Kathleen Kennedy, because they dared to go ahead and criticize it. They've decided that instead of acknowledging the real reasons for the Acolyte's failure and downfall, bad writing, terrible production, and poor execution under Kathleen Kennedy, it's easier just to attack YouTubers. These Disney Star Wars fans genuinely believe that by silencing them, they could somehow save their beloved show. So what exactly did these Disney Star Wars fans do? Well, they launched a coordinated attack campaign against YouTubers. And yesterday morning, we saw like hundreds, if not thousands, of tweets from Disney Star Wars fans over the Acolyte from Kathleen Kennedy, all with very similar wording, calling on YouTube to deplatform them. And these Disney Star Wars fans claim that they were spreading hate, racism, and bigotry simply because, they don't like the show. And they tagged the YouTube demanding that their channels be taken down, and it was an all-out assault from these Disney Star Wars fans over the Acolyte from Kathleen Kennedy, and really thought they had them this time. But guess what? These Disney Star Wars fans failed once again. You see, YouTube reviewed their complaints and concluded that the YouTubers did not violate their terms of service. And that's right, people. Despite all the noise from the Disney Star Wars fans over the Acolyte from Kathleen Kennedy, YouTube determined that basically the YouTubers weren't doing anything wrong. Now, their content stays up and they're going to continue to speak the truth. And the reaction from Disney Star Wars fans, well, it was pure outrage. They couldn't even believe it. Disney Star Wars fans thought they finally had succeeded in silencing the YouTubers, but instead they were left with yet another L. You see, Disney Star Wars fans took a massive loss yesterday over the failure of trying to get back the Acolyte from Kathleen Kennedy, and they're still reeling from it. But let's break this down even further. These Disney Star Wars fans, they don't even want to silence YouTubers because of the fact that they've criticized the Acolyte under Kathleen Kennedy. No, they want to silence them because Disney Star Wars fans can't handle the truth. Disney Star Wars fans can't handle the fact that their beloved Disney Star Wars under Kathleen Kennedy has been a failure, and especially can't handle the fact that there are millions of fans out there who agree with the YouTubers, like myself included. And these Disney Star Wars fans are living in a bubble where everything Disney produces is perfect, and anyone who says otherwise is an istophobe, like a racist or bigot. But the reality is much different. Reality is that most fans are fed up with the direction that Disney has taken with Star Wars under Kathleen Kennedy, and we're not afraid to say it. And this is not the first time that Disney Star Wars fans had tried to cancel these YouTubers. A few years ago, the same group, Rewrite and Ripley, led a similar campaign to deplatform them. Back then, they claimed that they were, engaging in harassment because they didn't like The Last Jedi. This is all familiar as well. And it's the same old playbook that Disney Star Wars fans have been using for years. And if you don't like what we like, you're just a bad person and you need to be silenced. But just like before, Disney Star Wars fans failed. Their attempts to cancel these YouTubers didn't work then. And guess what? They didn't work this time either. And even I knew there wasn't gonna work. But here's the thing: Disney Star Wars fans aren't even done. You see, Disney Star Wars fans are already trying to keep going, and these Disney Star Wars fans can't accept that they're in the minority. So they're going to go ahead and keep attacking these YouTubers, and they're going to keep trying to get the YouTubers deplatformed, demonetized, and silenced, because in their minds, you know, these YouTubers are the reason their favorite shows are failing. But the truth is, the Acolyte under Kathleen Kennedy didn't fail because of these YouTubers. It failed because it was bad, and no amount of petitions or Twitter campaigns from Disney Star Wars fans is going to change the fact that the Acolyte under Kathleen Kennedy got canceled and it was a failure. And let's not forget the bigger picture here. These Disney Star Wars fans are just one part of a larger problem. The real issue is that Disney, under the leadership of Lucasfilm, under the leadership of Kathleen Kennedy, has been pandering to these Disney Star Wars fans for years. They've been catering to the small, vocal minority and destroyed the Star Wars brand. And we've seen it time and time again, whether it's The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, or The Acolyte, all under Kathleen Kennedy. But here's a unsurprising thing. Disney keeps making these same mistakes. They keep producing, content that alienates the core fan base in favor of pleasing these Disney Star Wars fans, and it's backfiring spectacularly, okay? But there's a glimmer of hope. There's good news out of this. Disney Star Wars fans are losing. They're losing the culture war. They're losing the battle for the hearts and minds of Star Wars fans, and they're losing their grip on the franchise itself, all right? So the more they scream and cry about racism and bigotry, the more people tune them out. And the normal fans are waking up to the fact that these Disney Star Wars fans don't represent them. They don't represent what Star Wars is actually all about. And as long as we're here, we're going to keep fighting back against the nonsense that Disney fans are pushing, especially under the Acolyte from Kathleen Kennedy. So what's next for these Disney Star Wars fans? Well, they'll probably keep trying to cancel these YouTubers and other YouTubers. Maybe they'll target advertisers, or maybe the Disney Star Wars fans will come up with another ridiculous petition. But no matter what these Disney Star Wars fans do, they can't stop the truth. You see, Disney Star Wars fans need to come to terms with the fact that they're on the losing side of this fight. Their shows are failing, their narratives are crumbling, and their influence is waning. And as long as we keep speaking out, we're going to keep winning. So basically, this meltdown from Disney Star Wars fans is just the latest example of how out of touch they really are with reality. They thought that they could cancel these YouTubers as well as others, but these Disney Star Wars fans failed again, and they'll keep failing because the truth is on these YouTubers' side and our side as well. So if you're tired as I am hearing Disney Star Wars fans cry racism and bigotry every time someone criticizes a bad show, a bad movie, then make your voice heard. Let them know that we're not going anywhere and that we're going to keep on standing up for what's right, because guess what? At the end of the day, Star Wars is much bigger than these Disney Star Wars fans themselves. And it's time to go ahead and start taking this franchise back. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts may have this particular topic. If you enjoyed what I shared in this video, go ahead, smash the like button and share far wide across social media. And if you haven't done so already and you enjoyed all the content that I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. Click the bell notification so that way you're notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.